Welcome to TechDaily.ai. This deep dive is brought to you by our sponsor, Stonefly. They're your trusted solution provider and advisor. Stonefly specializes in enterprise storage, robust backup and disaster recovery, hyper-converged solutions for VMware, Hyper-V, and Proxmox clusters too, plus powerful AI servers, the all-in-one SA365 turnkey security appliance, and seamless public and private cloud integration. For more information and to explore all their offerings, definitely check out stonefly.com. Okay, so today we're plunging into a digital shift that's, well, it's historic, really, and for many, probably a welcome relief. We're talking about that screen, you know the one. It's haunted Windows users for decades, that sudden jarring moment where everything just freezes up. Your work hangs in the balance, this cryptic error pops up, and bam, your digital world just screeches to a halt. But for the first time in a very, very long time, that whole scene is about to change. Our mission in this deep dive is to unpack exactly what's going on, why Microsoft is finally making this move, and what it really means for your everyday digital life and maybe for system stability overall. Okay, let's get into it.
An infamous blue screen. For so many of us, it's been a symbol of, well, digital dread.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's fascinating here, I think, is that this isn't just a simple cosmetic change, like just swapping colors. While the color change is the first thing you notice, it actually reflects a much broader and, frankly, a pretty strategic shift in how Windows handles these core system errors. It's about moving away from just a dead-end message towards something that aims for clarity, gives you actionable info, and, ultimately helps you recover faster when things inevitably go wrong. It's really rethinking that critical moment.
It definitely feels like a big shift. So the big news is Microsoft is finally scrapping its iconic blue screen of death. That screen everyone knows, the one that pops up during unexpected system halts or restarts on Windows machines. It's been that gut-wrenching moment for generations.
It truly has. I mean, think about it. For decades, that specific shade of blue meant one thing: system failure. It wasn't just an error message. It was almost a psychological event, right? Staring at it often brought on that feeling of helplessness, maybe panic. Is my work gone? Is the computer broken? And it left you with, well, basically no immediate useful information, just blue. So while the underlying mechanism for critical errors isn't totally vanishing, Microsoft has revealed this new black iteration. And this isn't just a palette swap. It seems like a very intentional effort to reframe the whole user experience during a crash.
Right, that distinction is important. It's not just making it look different. It's about a mental shift, maybe a practical one, too, for the user. So for those of us who've stared at that blue screen more times than we'd like, how is this new black screen actually different? Beyond the color, what's really new or, dare I say, improved?
Okay, so beyond the obvious switch from blue to black, the new design is, well, it's significantly simpler. It gets rid of that traditional frowning face icon, which, let's be honest, always felt a bit mocking in a crisis. And crucially, it removes the QR code that was often too small, hard to scan for many people, and frankly, often just led to generic support pages anyway, not specific fixes. So in its place, this simplified black screen will now prominently list two vital pieces of information: the stop code and the faulty system driver.
Okay, hold on. Let's just quickly clarify those terms for everyone because they sound really important. What exactly is a stop code and a faulty system driver, maybe in simpler terms?
Good question, yeah, because this is where the real value comes in. A stop code is essentially a specific error ID number or maybe a short message. Think of it like a unique tag for the particular problem that caused the crash. It points directly to what went wrong, and the faulty system driver tells you exactly which piece of software, often the bit that lets Windows talk to your hardware, like your graphics card or network card, was the one that failed or caused the instability. And getting this info is huge because before, getting this level of detail often meant IT pros had to pull these complex crash dumps, basically a snapshot of your PC's memory when it crashed, and then analyze them with special tools. That could take a lot of time.
Huh. So it sounds like this isn't just about looks. It's genuinely about making it easier to figure out what's wrong. That's a massive win for anyone who's ever had to troubleshoot a PC.
Absolutely. And Microsoft's own VP of Enterprise and OS Security, David Weston, he really emphasized this. He stated, "This change is," and I'm quoting loosely here, "an attempt on clarity and providing better information to help everyone get to what the core of the issue is so we can fix it faster." Basically, providing cleaner information on what exactly went wrong. For the average person, it means a clearer, less scary message that might actually give them something useful to search for online or tell support. But for IT admins, support staff, yeah, it's potentially a game changer. It could mean much faster diagnostics, quicker root cause analysis, and ultimately less downtime for people and businesses. Imagine the time saved in a big company managing thousands of machines.
That makes total sense. Just knowing the specific problem, even if you can't fix it yourself, lets you communicate it way better. And for IT, that's gold. Now, you mentioned this new black screen is set to launch this summer with Windows 11 24H2, but let's zoom out a bit. What's the bigger picture? Why is Microsoft doing this now after all these decades of blue? Is it just about looks and slightly better info, or is something bigger driving this?
Well, if we connect the dots, this change is really part of a much larger ongoing effort by Microsoft to seriously boost system resiliency, to, reduce the disruption when an unexpected restart does happen. So beyond the color and the better diagnostics, they also plan to update the whole user interface to match that modern Windows 11 look and feel. But maybe the most ambitious part of this whole initiative is their goal to cut the actual downtime during restarts for most users down to just 2 seconds.
2 seconds. Seriously. That sounds almost unbelievable. I mean, most of us have sat through crashes that felt like forever, or at least several long minutes. 2 seconds is like sci-fi compared to that.
It really does, doesn't it? And that's the level of ambition we're talking about. Imagine a critical crash being just a 2-second blip instead of this major productivity killer. This kind of aggressive target really shows how serious Microsoft is about making Windows fundamentally more robust. And you mentioned a catalyst. I think a major one, perhaps a major recent one, pushing this focus on resiliency was that huge CrowdStrike incident back in July 2024.
Ah, yes, the CrowdStrike incident. That definitely put system crashes and resilience right in the public spotlight, didn't it? For anyone who might not remember, maybe just quickly remind us of the scale of that event. Why was it such a wake-up call?
Exactly. It was a massive wake-up call, not just for Microsoft, but really for the whole tech industry and anyone relying on digital systems. What happened was a faulty update from CrowdStrike, a major cybersecurity company, accidentally crashed Windows systems all over the globe. We're talking a worldwide communications outage. It crippled operations in so many sectors. We saw those images flooding social media, blue screens popping up everywhere, like Starbucks stores on Amtrak systems. And probably most dramatically, it caused massive flight cancellations and huge delays at major international airports.
Wow.
Chaos.
Yeah, the kind of highly visible public disruption must have absolutely hammered home the need for a more resilient OS. It took the problem from being maybe an IT headache to something affecting millions of ordinary people's lives and plans.
Precisely. That incident wasn't just some technical glitch. It was a really stark, real-world demo of how fragile our interconnected world can sometimes be. And it showed the huge economic and logistical fallout from these widespread system failures. It absolutely underlined the urgent need for better system resiliency right from the core OS upwards. So this new black screen design, combined with that ambitious 2-second recovery goal, it's all part of that broader, now intensified effort by Microsoft to improve the fundamental resilience of Windows. It's also launching alongside a new feature called Quick Machine Recovery, which is specifically designed to help restore machines quickly if they can't even boot up properly. It really signals a shift in thinking, doesn't it? Designing systems to handle failure gracefully, not just trying to prevent it entirely, to keep things robust and, importantly, quickly recoverable.
It's wild to think that the original blue screen of death dates way back to the early 1990s. According to Raymond Chen, the longtime Microsoft developer, it's truly been a staple, almost a digital rite of passage, for nearly 40 years. Its staying power through so many Windows versions is pretty remarkable. Why do you think it stuck around so long in that form? Was it just, if it ain't broke, or something else?
That's a great historical point, and I think it's probably a bit of both. Part of its longevity was likely just legacy made. I mean, changing a core error handling system in an OS used by billions is incredibly complex. And for a long time, the main focus was probably more on just raw system stability rather than the user experience during a failure. The blue screen, while scary for users, did technically serve its purpose of showing critical error info to the developers and IT folks, even if it was presented in a pretty cryptic way. It was utilitarian. But as computers became more mainstream and user experience started getting more attention, that stark, unhelpful blue screen just felt increasingly outdated, like an anachronism. It signaled a total loss of control. The shift we're seeing now really represents a maturing in how operating systems are designed, I think. It's not just about preventing crashes anymore, but about gracefully handling them when they inevitably occur. This new approach basically acknowledges that, yeah, failures happen, but that feeling of helplessness doesn't have to. It's a fundamental rethink of how the OS talks to you, the user, in those critical moments. The goal is to make these frustrating events more predictable, maybe less anxiety-inducing, and crucially, to give you clearer, more actionable information so you can get back up and running faster. It's a significant evolution, really focusing on the user during stress, trying to shift that feeling from panic towards maybe informed recovery.
So there you have it, a deep dive into the, well, surprising farewell of a truly notorious digital icon, and the very practical, user-focused reasons behind its new black-clad successor. It feels like a shift from dread and confusion towards, hopefully, quicker resolution and clearer communication. It really highlights how even the most embedded parts of our digital lives can and do change.
And it does raise an important question for all of us, I think. As software gets deeper and deeper into every single part of our lives, our work, our critical infrastructure, how much further can companies go, or maybe should they go, in designing for failure, not just for success? How do we ensure our digital world stays robust, resilient, and ultimately trustworthy? It's a challenge that's only going to get bigger.
That's a really thought-provoking question as we move forward in this complex digital age. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Before we sign off, just a quick reminder about our sponsor, Stonefly. If you're looking for enterprise-grade solutions, be sure to check out one of their key offerings, the 100 TB immutable and air-gapped SSO NAS. It's available now for just $8,995. That's an incredibly powerful and secure solution really designed for critical data protection and accessibility. You can find out more about this and their full suite of enterprise storage, backup disaster recovery, hyper-converged AI server, SA365 security appliance, and cloud solutions over at stonefly.com. We look forward to our next deep dive with you.